Hi, everybody. It's Steve and Danny next to me. Nice to see you all. As some of you might know, this is my favorite time of the week, where we actually get to talk and present all things catalysts and answer your very smart questions and work together. Such a joy. So let me fire up the slides. Here we are. Yep, this is the last. I don't know if you know, but this is going to be the last town hall for Fund 3. Next week, we're launching Fund 4 innovation phase. Next week we're launching. This is like the last one of Fund 4. Next week we're going to launch Fund 5. So I want to welcome you to the experiment. Things can break, as we know, but we mend them quickly. Things can lack documentation, but then the community steps up and fills in the gaps. Things differ greatly between iterations, but we've established mentorship programs and leveling up our onboarding process. And things can disorient, overload, and inspire, but we're here to bring everybody up to speed and make sure that we celebrate our achievements while recognizing the challenges. Our goal is to provide you all a safe and lively environment for you to explore the highest potential of human collaboration. So this week I choose this cheesy graduation image, which is funny because it's not like I've been to an American college, so it's not like I never had this silly hat and all that, but what I want to express here is that we went through a lot here at this fund, and it's not easy. Most of us worked really hard. Some of us struggled on technical issues. Some of us, had to come and write and present proposals, some to review and understand the rules of the game and how to do a good job. And we had the Fund 2 cohort that was working very, very hard to address the challenges that were presented. And many, many other types of actions and activities that are happening and maybe less noticeable when you look at it in a shallow way. But we did it. We learned, we graduated from this fund, and we're heading up to the next fund armed with knowledge and experience and some better interfaces and some bugs fixed. And I want to celebrate it with you. And I just want to highlight all the things that happened during this fund. So one thing that's maybe the biggest thing, probably the biggest thing, is we saw that those in Fund 2 that got voted in, the cohort, is doing an amazing job. They've been here week after week in the past several town halls. You've seen the kind of projects they're bringing to life. You see the seriousness, the professionalism, and how much these projects can have a major impact on the future of Cardano. And getting to that point was not trivial. It was work of for some of these proposals. They've been with us from Fund 1. Okay, they've been almost 6 months in the making, and it's amazing to see how things take shape. Then we became the biggest decentralized innovation fund in the world. We just basically, with almost 20,000 voters registered, we just did a leapfrog ahead of all the entire blockchain industry, and we are market leaders. Another achievement is that something we just learned yesterday is that, in Fund 4, we had an incredible amount of proposals. Like we had around 335 proposals on the ballot, and we wanted each and every one of those to get at least 3 separate community advisors to review and assess them. Think about the mass amount of work. Think about how hard it is to actually read and parse 335 proposals, and these are not like, and each one of those proposals are extremely complex in itself, and think that each one of them had 3 different people come and give an assessment, and we managed to pull it off and coordinate. Okay, the scaling up of the system from basically 2,000 people to 20,000 people at 10x growth, that's not trivial, and we're doing it. It's happening. And then another thing we saw this fund is this emergence of autonomy. Okay, so the community picking up shovels, transitioning from, let's say, criticizing, complaining, talking in a vague, ideating, into just picking up the shovels and filling in the gaps where they are. We started a mentorship. You started just because you thought that was the right thing to do. We started a mentorship program where community advisors help proposers to form good proposals. There's a whole landing page that's just starting to evolve and take shape to better onboard people. The entire community advisor processes had a serious upgrade to it, and which was led by the community. And we have this emergence of independent media. So going forward, there's way more platforms for proposers to actually present what they're doing and get a stage and start to have and continue in our journey to have a really meaningful discussion, right, about all these proposals and getting to this smart collective decision making. And it's led by you. That's the amazing thing. And then we have another thing that we didn't talk about, because you don't talk about the things that when things go right? Only the squeaky wheels makes the sound. But in previous funds, we had big issues around civil and constructive discourse. We had people who left the process midway because they were overwhelmed with the kind of negative feedback they received. And I thought that because we're going to grow in such a huge numbers, and because of I think the general blockchain, the wave that we are at, it's gonna make our discourse deteriorate. But that's not true. We actually, when you look at the feedback that's given in the proposals, you think of the discourse and you think there's around tens of thousands of people involved in an open system, and you see people are actually being awesome to each other. Of course, there's some small, it's not 100%, but it's overwhelmingly encouraging. I think the last thing I want to mention is that every time we start the fund, we're starting with this insight sharing stage, where instead of just proposing solutions, we actually talk about the problem and analyze each challenge, what's the definition of the challenge and how do we define success, and what opportunities are ahead of us. And this round was the first time we had, I would say, we got there. Okay, we had an amazing discussion and people shared great insights that really added value to the process. So just seeing all of these things coming together is extremely encouraging. It makes me think we're just starting our journey, and we're just starting to unlock the potential of this type of collaboration. And in light of this, okay, because we're doing so great, I have an announcement to make. We are not only we're launching Fund 5 next week, but yet again we're going to double the amount of funds governed. Okay, so Fund 4 had 1 million. Fund 5 we're going to go for a 2 million total budget. This is like serious money. You can do a lot of things. Okay, with that kind of money, and think about it, it's only every 6 weeks we get more. Okay, but so what does it mean, this doubling? Let's go through it. And the purpose I'm going through it is because I want to give everybody who wants to prepare for Fund 5 as much of a head start. Okay, so kind of like get the lay of the land, so you can start working on your proposal. So we have the Dev Ecosystem Challenge that is going to grow from $400,000 to $600,000. The dApps and Integration Challenge is having a little bump and comes up to $250,000. Decision Making Challenge grows by 50%, and there's now $75,000 allocated to projects that would improve the quality of decision making in Catalyst. Then proposer outreach, okay, that's a big one. It's gonna double because it's so strategically important. So we're going to basically like double the amount of energy we are giving to actually attract the brightest entrepreneurs and proposers from all over the world to come to Catalyst and start building on top of our system, top of Cardano. Then we have the Catalyst onboarding channel. It's still, so we maintain the challenge and persist it. And then we have the Community Hubs challenge that's gonna show us a slight growth. But that's not all. We also have a brand new challenge, a metadata challenge. So a challenge to build apps and integrations using metadata. And we have Carlos with us joining. He'll join at the end of close to the end of the town hall to talk specifically about the challenge and how does it look like and what kind of support people working on that will be funded will receive in addition to the funding. And after this weekend, after Monday, we're going to start to tallying the votes from Fund 3, and we're finally going to know what are the new mystery community choice challenges that are going to be picked by the community. And that's amazing. It's like the first time this community have decided in a democratic, decentralized fashion to set goals for themselves, and it's happening. So I can't wait. I'm really curious to know which ones are gonna get picked, what would be their quality, and how much engaging they would be. But we're gonna learn that as soon as we'll know, we'll let you know. So that's exciting. But that's not it. We're also gonna have, of course, there will be like the doubling of the incentives. Okay, so what does it mean? So we have three distinct functions, right? That makes this system impactful. Actually, we have 4, but we just covered the proposer and the implementer incentives. But we also have voters, advisors, and referrers. So voters will now receive double the reward. So whatever was your the algorithm is it's not that complicated, but it is an algorithm. But the math is simple. Okay, we're doubling the reward, so you will get double voter rewards for this fund. The second one is incentives of the advisors. Okay, so we're seeing the scale, the sheer number of proposals growing, and I expect it to continue to grow. And side by side with it, we are rewarding all the community advisors doing the hard work of assessing and reviewing So that's doubling. And last thing, we have these referrers. So what referrers do, they're in charge of introducing new proposers to the system. And what's interesting about that is like, so we're going from 20K to 40K to incentivize referrers. And, you know, it's like there is some likelihood that it will be just a few people who will share this 40K. Okay, so it could be because you're eligible for this reward if you refer someone that gets funded. Okay, so it takes some time to find out that, you know, because it's like it has to go through innovation and governance. But in the end, we might find out there'll be like, you know, maybe just one or two winners. We don't know. So this is like a very, very high incentive for that. And once we tally the fund 3, we will know who is eligible for the rewards from previous funds, and we'll announce it. So I think that's it. One more. That's not all. There's one more announcement about Fund 5. And as you know, our goal ultimately, you know, is get to this autonomy of the community, setting challenges. So we're doubling the amount. So now when the community decides about setting new challenges, it's not a $500,000 affair, it's $1 million affair. Okay, so another doubling of that. It's crazy. Crazy in a good way. Crazy, happy crazy. Crazy as you earned it because you've been doing an amazing work that's you're becoming a world leader in what you're doing. So that's the feedback that you receive. All right, Steven, you want to come up? Talk a bit about, now that we know all this information, what can proposers do about it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I didn't know I'd been unmuted. So I want to share a screen here. So basically on the Discord server, we had a thing where people said, hey, we ought to have a mentor program. So we created a little bit of, let me share my screen, application, share. All right, I'm assuming you can see this. Oop, that's the wrong screen.
Papa. Yeah,
that's
now you're
the wrong screen. Did it close?
Yeah, now we're seeing the Discord. Now we're seeing the Slack.
Yeah, I'm trying to kill it. How do I even kill it? Stop sharing. That's it. Jeez. Where did I go? I went away.
No, you're here. You're here with us.
Oh, I got it. Application, and this is Discord. Thank God. Okay, I think we made it. Is that Discord?
Yep, we just, okay. Ta-da!
What do you know? All righty. So in the Discord, a lot of people complain there's too many channels. You can see there's 242 channels in here. And it's a lot. So all of these open up and you can find all kinds of things in here. And I'm trying to figure out where in the incubator proposer mentorship, you can come in, grab this channel, and you can just come in here and put in at, mentor, is it?
If you're like me, it's like our little video squares are blocking the input field, but I want to assure you that what Steven is doing is tagging.
Oh, you can't see it because the window's blocking it. Our little pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't do anything about that. So you can also just come into the general channel and tag somebody. You can say, at proposal mentors, And then we've also got, we've started for Fund 5. Let me scroll this up so you can see it. We've got request a channel for Fund 5. We've got proposer support. You can come in here and ask your questions. And all of that's done by using, let me see if I've got, can I bring up, here we go. All right, here's all the instructions right here. You can see, if you intend to enter a proposal for Fund 5, you can hit proposal mentor or @ community advisor, or you can request a channel. And then we've got a list of all the different challenges for Fund 5. So that's how you'd go about that. If I stop, what was the other thing that I need to talk about, Dor? I need to see the screen. Community advisor. Yeah. Oh, I think that covered it.
That's about it. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks.
Sorry about the goof ups there. And let's mute me.
It's that's what happens when we do everything live. So we have so proposers, especially those of you are new and are a bit like, whoa, what's going on? Okay, so go head up to the Discord, and Anna, if you can share that link, and you will receive their support. And actually, like, you can form an entire channel just for your proposal and attract mentors and attract community advisors and get lots of feedback. Okay, so if you're actually serious about your proposals and you want to optimize your chances to get it funded, ask for feedback and engage in the process. And that's like a little tip from me. Okay, so next, I want to talk about the progress of the cohort. So at every 2 weeks, the Fund 2 cohort sends us how they progressed on their challenge, which was about attracting developers and entrepreneurs to the ecosystem. The numbers start to pile up. Okay, like that was why I was like celebrating this at the start of the town hall. When you look at all the different developers that are getting engaged and attracted to the ecosystem, and you see that we have a total of 250, and there's like many of these proposals haven't even launched yet. And then you look, and then you look at the size of, you see that we have already 4 dApps built, and you've seen 82 entrepreneurs attracted to the ecosystem. And this is not even covering like the stuff on the other metric, right? Like, so you see like Liquid Protocol has 2,500 followers on Twitter. Like you can see that for Gimbal Lab, they have 230 members on their Discord channel. Okay, like so this and many others are getting traction, and they really just started. I wonder how this number is going to look in 6 months from now, for example. Okay. Also, the cohort wanted to share with the community some kudos. Okay, so one of the most important things you can do as a community member is come and help funded proposers address the challenge. So we want to give kudos to Priyank, Dr. Lars, Sebastian, Rick and Felipe from Cardano Effect, Big Pay, Utah, Ibex, the Playground developer crew, Thomas and Alex, and Adam Dean for just coming, just straight down coming and assisting these proposals accomplish their task. Remember, we're all bonded by ADA. Okay, we're all when one wins, we all win. So let's do some helpful links for those. I hope we will share the slide link so you can go visit them to learn more about specific proposals in a bit more detail. One more message. let's talk about the special voting round we're having for Yoroi. Okay, so heads up, you're just going to have Yoroi, people who registered through Yoroi, you're just going to have 3 days. So it's going to start this Friday at the same time where we started this town hall, okay, 7 p.m. UTC. It's going to end up on Monday, also 7 p.m. UTC. This is the window to cast your votes and also participate in Fund 3 governance. And just remember, you don't need to do anything special. All you need to do is open the, wait, what is the typo? Okay. Daedalus ends on Friday 26th? No, I don't think so. Okay, we'll clear that up, but I'm pretty sure it's voting ends today. So I do want to say that we really asked you in big red letters on all the interfaces to save your QR and PIN code, and you will need it. And if you lost it, you will not be able to participate. And that's fine, because they're going to be in a few weeks a new voting round, and now you know to save the QR code and PIN code. So not all is lost. For those of you who won't be able to participate. Danny, I want you to come and talk to us a bit about the QA, the assessment QA stage, or as AKA reviewing the reviewers, AKA what we're doing this week to make sure that the quality of reviews, the assessments that are given, are sufficiently good.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you all know, we spent past week and all of the community advisors, they were asked to follow certain guidelines and review all of the proposals which are moving onto a ballot. And they were given certain set of guidelines. But because we are doing it in very decentralized and grassroots fashion, we also need to ensure that there is some last checks and balances process that can ensure that all of these assessments are actually fair, they're thoughtful, and they're just not like random entries. So what will happen is that once today the CA the general period of community advisors review phase ends today, and what happens is that we will open for the next about 2 days a floor for all the proposers. So they can come back and they can review all of the assessments they've received, and they can actually flag if anything is out of order. Basically, we will be asking people to look at the certain things which would signify a substandard, low quality review. Usually, we will be looking at the things like before you will be flagging these things, like is the review given from a biased perspective? Maybe the proposal was not read through by community advisor. It could happen as well. If it's clear that the selection criteria and the review guidelines were not applied correctly, or perhaps they were misunderstood by the community advisor. Things about is the proposal being praised, but it gave you a score of 1. It could be a typo, but sort of things like that, you shouldn't be penalized. So you as a proposer now go back to the driver's seat, and you will be giving feedback back to the community so that we can correct any of the issues that may come up. Now, also one of the other things we'll be looking at, like if they actually follow community conduct guidelines and stuff of that nature. So next 2 days, these will be a great opportunity to flag all of these assessments. And once this period is over, what happens is that then next select group of community advisors, what we would refer to them as veteran community advisors, will converge and spend the entire weekend up until Monday reviewing all of your requests for flags. Now, not everything will be accepted, nor it should be, but there are now specific guidelines by community advisors that they'll be able to review, and if it is found that the the flagged assessment is appropriate, then it will be removed from your ranking so that you're not penalized for something which is obviously not true, or it's biased, or it's any other unthoughtful in that way. So these decisions will be transparently shared with the community. In order for you to be actually the VCA, which is a Veterans Community Advisor, there will be a published document where you will need to put your name to all of the decisions that you've made. Why did you accept the flag, or why did you reject it? And then also perhaps other rationales around it. If there's a system now in place we call the red and yellow flag, and that's essentially what it does. It will track the record of all CAs and to understand if there's just like very minor infractions or if there's a theme. Because if they reach a certain threshold, they will actually be not eligible potentially for any rewards. So such CA reviews will be not only rewarded, but also the community advisors will be flagged for the next rewards. So that's it. In that sense, then you probably saw on the bottom of the slide, there's a big kudos. There was a big group that actually made this happen. It was a very heroic function of all the people involved. I would read it out, but it's also hidden behind my screen a little bit. But just to name the few, there's Lucio, Rodrigo, all the CAs. There's Vladimir, Rene, Philip. I know also Michael, who did the retrospective with all of the advisors who put all their heads together after the experiences learned from the fund 2, so that we can apply them in the following funds. And this is the process they came up with. So we learned together with everyone. So you're all encouraged to give the feedback as we continue. And then following after this town hall, all of the proposers will receive an email with instructions how to proceed. So make sure you check your email, make sure you check the channels for the Catalyst. You will receive instructions. And they will also include the link to the document, which will enable you to flag these reviews that may not be good. What you will be doing is you will be following instructions of the filtering option, where you will be finding and looking up your own proposal, and then you will be placing an X next to each of the comments that you may not agree with, or you think it's worth reviewing by the veteran CAs. Again, you have also opportunity to flag reviews which are good. For example, there will be a column for constructive feedback. Obviously, we have another one for profanity. If the score doesn't match, if it's just copy-paste effort, if it's addressing the wrong challenge, or if it's talking about the wrong criteria. And then there is a general infraction. Anything that you think that wasn't applicable to the first of the categories, you can then flag that. But in order for that to be valid, you will need to put in the text box of the general infraction actually rationale. So what is it that you disagree with, and why is it so, and specific references. So then the VCAs can review it properly and make an educated decision. You can't just say, I disagree with this statement. You will need to actually justify it, like why that is. So make sure the VCAs understand your point of view so they can help you in case it is really, really justified. So yes, you will have the next 2 days. The deadline is this Friday at 3 p.m. UTC. So you have the next about 48 hours, 2 days to put these things together. And once you're done, then you just sit back and relax. And over the weekend is when the VCAs will converge and analyze all of the flags that you will make. So hopefully that will improve the quality of the feedback provided during the past week to all of the proposals, and so that we can all get better collectively. And that's the plan for the next week.
Yay, Danny, thank you so much. I just want to add one more thing, okay? So obviously this is we prototype this form, this like spreadsheet. It's not as hard as it looks like once you actually have it, and you can, and there's like instructions in the first page of it of how to use it. But if any proposer is like kind of confused and not sure how it works, it's supposed to be like, look at your email, you will get instructions, try to do it. And if you think you're having issues, then there's a dedicated Telegram channel just for proposers. And So you can bring up any issue you have in that channel, and some other community member or another proposer would step up and help you. And Anna, maybe you can share the Project Catalyst proposers Telegram channel. That would be nice. Okay, so next is I want to invite Carlos to the stage to talk with us about the new shiny metadata challenge. Ah, you made it.
Hello,
Great.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good.
I really like your photo. It's very well made.
Yeah, it was me when before the pandemic, when I was slim and I and I look better, right? Yeah. So it's it's the age.
Okay, well, feel free. I think the town hall peeps already know you because you've been here a couple of times. Just let me know when you want me to move to the next slide.
Yeah, let's go to the next slide. Hey, everyone. Okay, so we have something very interesting here, right, today, which is the metadata challenge that Dora has been talking to you about, right? And we have announced roughly at the very beginning. It was laid out like a metadata workshop. One of the things that I was telling you guys is that I saw it more like a series of interactions, just not one workshop. And I want to talk to you about this a little bit more. What has been, on the plan since the beginning. So this is a PSG Catalyst coordination effort, or hopefully it yields great results. So next slide, please. All right, objective. It's very simple what we are trying to achieve. We want to share our expertise, right? If you recall PSG in the past, right? What we do is we help companies bridge the gap between their business problem and the blockchain technology. So we have helped companies in the past, and the Catalyst community is not only growing, the ideas are maturing and are becoming more and more complex at the same time that the funds will become much more interesting. Some of them will be very detailed in the objectives. Some of them will be broad, right? So the idea is how can we collaborate? How can we share our expertise with the community in a way that increases the utility of Cardano, right? Next slide, please. Okay, so this is the timeline. I just, recap a little bit and then look forward to a couple more steps. So on March 3rd, it was the first engagement that we had with the Catalyst community. We presented, I pretty much presented myself. I told about PSG, I told about what we do, and so on and so forth. So if you have not seen that, you can go to the recording. The announcement was made around metadata and so on and so forth. Last week, we joined the dev community call where Alan McSherry, which is a solutions architect for the PSG team, he was presenting a little bit the work that he had to do around metadata for traceability, for product authentication, and so on. It's often the case that for you to serve enterprise clients or for you to solve business problems, you have to build a slim layer or a couple of layers and components on top of the Cardano APIs. For them to be usable. So Alan McSherry was presenting the work that he had done on that in that arena and what we had as services and so on and so forth. After that, a metadata brief was created for the challenge with the objectives, what we call success. It was presented to the community, not this wider community, but there was a workshop, work group that was held on Friday where we ideated and refined it a little bit further. Now we are having today where we can actually finally announce that we'll have a metadata challenge for Fund 5, right? And I just will be telling you a little bit of what we plan to do with this specific challenge. Then next week, one of the very nice things that happened on March 3rd is that, if you recall, Jimbo Labs was also presenting on that call. And they approached to us after the call, saying how exactly can we collaborate, because they are focusing on the education portion of the equation, right? And education is really important for you to even come up with the ideas, to know exactly what do you have at hand, what can you use. So we'll be joining them next March 30th. I think it's next Tuesday. It is the 30th. I'm sure about it. Next Tuesday on their call, and we'll be presenting a little bit about our expertise and the challenges that we found when we built BIFCHIN, when we built New Balance, and so on and so forth. So to start engaging a little bit more with the community that actually wants to bring utility to Cardano. It's not just Jimbo Labs, right? We would try to touch base with you guys in this forum, town hall. I am in Telegram. We would try to attend the dev community calls when it makes sense, and so on and so forth. So now, and after this, what I expect is that the Fund 5 is launched, the challenge is launched, and I really hope to see great ideas come out of it. You know, utility-based, utilizing metadata we can implement right now. And if I hope that the things that we are proposing here, guys, are effective, and we will see it in the results. Because if great ideas are put in the challenge, if then we can help you achieve those ideas, and then it becomes in something tangible, big, right, for Cardano, it brings users to Cardano, or so on and so forth. That is just evidence for me to know that this was effective, and evidence for me and my team to actually see more ways in which we can engage, right? To double down, let's say. So in this challenge in particular, this is what we are thinking. So the challenge in brief would be, how can we utilize transaction metadata? How can we open up a little bit is it possible to open up the link, because the brief is just there?
Yeah, I'm doing it. 1 second.
Okay, no problem. There you go. Thank you very much. Yeah, so the challenge question is, how can we utilize transaction metadata to solve real world problems? And then in the brief, there are some ideas of what is applicable here, right? You can utilize the network of Cardano to store small proof of events or documents, right? You don't need a smart contracts to bring utility through these means. We already talked about this. Both New Balance and BIFCHIN traceability in general are just utilizing metadata without smart contracts, and that has not been a blocker. Then, and for you to think a little bit more generally on it, I mean, anytime or any problem that you have to demonstrate that external party to external parties that that you have to demonstrate to external parties that a specific document has not been tampered with, the typical hashes, right? Demonstrate to external parties that a specific event took place, that a document existed at a certain point in time. To do any or all of all those without revealing the entirety of the document, right? And what we want to do with this is, once you have selected the winners of this metadata challenge, then PSG will jump in and will help the winners to actually achieve the goal of the challenge. How exactly are we going to do this? We intend to offer one hour a week of expert advice from IOHK solutions architects and technical consultants. This is this is what the same people that build these other solutions that I've been talking about. An email for offline queries, right? Architectural design, technical reviews. Now, if you see the fund, the amount is $50,000, right? That's not enough to build a full-fledged application or a comprehensive system or a complicated system. But what we are expecting is not to see a lot of mobile applications to come out of it. We just want to, if we have success, can we go up a little bit when it says how success looks like? We have success if prototypes are built that utilize metadata to solve real life problems. And then those prototypes are presented to the Catalyst community. And in this ideation phase or architectural process where you go from a problem to actually utilizing the technology, we will be there for to help you guys. So, and then after this, in the challenge, there are key metrics about potential users, the community feedback. I also mentioned that one of the key metrics is follow-up Catalyst proposals, because in my mind, these engagements will grow over time. Like maybe it is just a prototype in this 1.5, because this is an experiment. This is an experiment. I am pretty eager to see how effective all these ideas are, right? We will be there, you will be there, you will bring great ideas, we will help you, bring those ideas down to the ground, we will help you ideate and so on and so forth. And after we got this and we have prototypes and we present to the Catalyst community, it could be that a couple of those get a second proposal to actually going from that prototyping stage to a full-fledged solution. So the follow-up proposal are also important to me, and to the metrics of this experiment, because it means that we just contributed to a seed that could become a full-fledged business on its own. Who knows? Maybe there is a roadmap that starts with limited functionality, and then it adds smart contracts when they are available, right? You can add native assets and mix that with document attestation and so on and so forth. So, and below there's just guiding questions for you to think about the challenge. And now, now really we have gotten this far, and I'm here, and I will try to continue contributing, but the ball is in your side, really, honestly, because now the next thing that needs to happen is that you propose, right? That you propose, that you select, that you filter, and that you decide what exactly you should like to see on Cardano. And once you have decided, then we will try to help make it happen.
Hooray!
That's all.
Thank you so much. It's exciting. There's a few reasons this challenge is exciting. I think first is this is the first time we have a challenge that it's actually going to get somewhat like incubated and support by an entire department in IOHK. Okay, so what we've seen in Fund 2, the Cohort people, that there was like people sometimes need support or reviews of their architectures or stuff like that, and it was pretty complicated to get them all the help they needed, simply because this was like not allocated in advance. And now for the metadata challenge, not only your project can get funded, but some of the world's top experts are going to work with you and make sure that it's that the technology is good, that the setup is well, the technical details are well, that you're gonna get all sorts of fancy tooling that the metadata team has been building over years. Okay, so again, another substantial advantage. And the third thing is they're gonna help you with the commercial applications of it. Okay, and like really help you. So it's like almost like a mini accelerator going on, and we're piloting and we're experimenting, and we're gonna measure what kind of outcomes are driven by this. And if this experiment is a success, you're gonna see more and more challenges in Catalyst that are gonna be, be accelerated with a team of experts, along with the winning fund. So I think this can be huge. And also maybe the one last thing is that, metadata is here. you can start build on it. You know, like a lot of people are asking when GoGen, when this, when that, this technology is ready. Let's get started. That's the exciting thing about it, and it's only your imagination. And I would not rule out that people, even in the first round of funding, will actually find a viable commercial use case. You know, I wouldn't say like just build a prototype. I say like validate the prototype, go for it. Definitely, the world's seen a lot of times, like a lot of entrepreneurial teams, like they build a prototype and then it gains traction. There's like real market interest, and they find it quicker than expected. Okay, they find their client base and they find their viability, and so yeah, the sky's the limit. Thank you, Carlos.
My pleasure.
Okay, so one last thing is I wanted to share with you a slide about next steps. So for all of you who want to come and engage more deeply with the Catalyst process, here's a bunch of links that would help. So, you know, from continuing to the town hall link, to registering on a Discale, to join our Telegram group, our announcement channel, the Discord, the Catalyst dashboard is really amazing. It's like really gets you aware of like different important statistics about the fund, but also it's like a repository of important documents. There's like a lot of stuff going on there. I really recommend it. And then there is 2 specific Telegram channels to support advisors and to support proposals owners. Okay, the key thing here, especially as we're seeing this huge growth, is that like, yeah, every funding round, there are thousands of new people joining, and then they meet people who already did, you know, that maybe it's like their third fund, okay, and so they might feel intimidated because, yeah, you know, it's you need to understand a bit the system to thrive in it. But that's the point of these channels. We're here to onboard you, to teach you, to train you, and to give you the kind of 21st century knowledge and skill sets that can make this new type of organization a success. And I think you will see that those pioneers, people who gain these skills early, are going to become extremely valuable in the global marketplace. Just a little teaser. So I'd love to take a few minutes to answer questions. So as usual, I'm opening the question and answer area here and answering them kind of like by order of how many votes they receive. So if you look at the ask a question and you want me to address it, vote up the relevant question. All right, so Patrick is asking, as community advisor, I start seeing a lot of proposals that might need some help in terms of resources, both from technical and managerial point of view. Can we create a sort of marketplace in which the proposals lacking of human capital are posting the link to their proposal, and they select the type of help needed according to some pre-selected fields, which users looking forward to help some project, they can easily find a good match? Yes. Okay, so Patrick, you definitely you are barging into an open door. You're identified a potential, right? The potential of collaboration, of like what happens if in us in the community, there's actually awareness of like what gaps specific projects have that would make them really successful. And by being aware of these gaps, and also by being aware of which people are actually holding these skills, we can match and form like amazing teams to actually build out better proposals. So we started to do, so we are working on this problem from different directions. One mechanism we have in place is that in a D-Scale, you can tag your proposal with I am seeking, and then like a specific tag, like I seek a developer, I seek a designer, I seek advisor, like a business consultant, stuff like that. And then people with the appropriate skills can see this tag and approach you and become implementers or even like become co-proposers to help you. This is one idea. I think a second idea, there's like in Discord, there's a channel for pitch to a dev, where you can pitch for devs. I see Rick mentioned like, and also you can talk to Rick or talk to other mentors and advisors of other community members and ask for help in referring you, as Rick is suggesting here on the comments, which is great. This is just the first step. So these were a few low-hanging fruits and prototypes we did to help it. But we're going to double down on that in the coming months. You know, we're going to have, first of all, I think encouraging the community to make proposals in the relevant categories to help with matchmaking. We're talking a bit about a collaboration with SingularityNet, maybe to introduce a tool that can help form teams. I personally think that one thing that can be done really quickly and actually be really impactful is having some kind of like a festival of early proposals. Okay, so let's say having a dedicated like a few hours where proposers and people across Catalyst who want to be involved in proposals like meet in a certain space, and then proposals can pitch and share their needs, and people who are like interested can come and talk with the person and see maybe there's like a good connection. I think this is something that's like, I'd love if someone from the community can pick up that initiative. And if you do, we will help you. Like we will help you make it happen. We will publish it. We'll publicize it on the town hall and we'll offer you advice. So so talk to Danny or Steve if you want to get something like that off the ground, some kind of a cool matchmaking event. But thanks, Patrick. Very important topic and a huge potential. I think we can do amazing work there. Rajesh is asking, once we have voted for a project on Catalyst, how can we keep track about the progress about the project? So every 2 weeks, we're asking the funded proposals to submit a report. I shared early in the town hall that report, and I think ideally we were gonna share a link to the document itself so you can really go and like really dig into the details, and we will do so. Okay, so Jochem is asking, as a newcomer but senior developer, dev lead, yay, thanks for joining. I'd like to contribute and offers reviews and such, but I find it less than easy to find my way around on how to do that. Is there or could there be a better onboarding for this? Yes, the project right now, it's not the easiest. I mean, we almost, I feel like in this early stage, we almost like set up a bit of a trench, right? Like that it's not super easy to get started. Only people who like really want to like find the path. One of the things but we identified this problem and we're working on better onboarding. One of the great things that started was this whole community landing page. I want to see if I can do a little screen share and show you. First of all, I'll share the link in the chat. so you can see that. But I'm also gonna do let me show you something. Okay, so this is a dynamic community catalyst, kind of like an onboarding page for the community. And what's wonderful of it is that it's iterative. So it's connected to a GitHub repo, and people keep iterating and improving on it. So this is like just an early prototype, but it's still very, very useful. You can look at the different functions in the network, and you can reach resources. So for example, if you want to be a community advisor, which is does a review, you can click here. You can look at you can see our guide, the official guide, and there's some other documents that can help you. And I would say one in addition to this website and all the cool things around it, like you can have like cool like a countdown for next key moments. So for example, when the QA assessment phase is starting, etc. You can basically go to the advisor Telegram channel and just say, hey, I'm new. I have a question, or I want to be onboarded, supported. So, just don't be shy. Just go and ask. Over time, it will get better and better. But for you to come and also share with us what's hard, and also share with the team that's building this community onboarding page, that makes sure that from iteration to iteration, we're going to lower the threshold of adoption. Okay. Diego is asking, when will we be able to vote using Yoroi with Ledger Wallet? I do not know. We're coding away. We have a dependency on Ledger team to actually include what we built in their hardware wallet. And we're also dependent on the Yoroi team, which is not, it's an Emerga project, it's not an IOHK project to integrate as well. So we have these two actors that are not under our direct control. But Diego, I assure you it's going to happen this year. And I'm assure you that the moment we will get hard commitments regarding all these dependencies, that we will make an announcement, and you will know about it. This is a priority for us. We're like right now, my team. This is one of the, like, I would say this is the biggest focus right now of the team doing this. So, all right. Aiden, okay. Juicy question. I have been on a few of these town halls. I bet many people will agree. Can you give greater thought to how you can make these discussions, somewhat abstract discussions, more understandable for the majority of the people here? I do not believe the majority understand. That's a great point. So I don't know. I'm going to ask the people here on the chat, like, how many people think, can some people kind of like in the chat, like tell me if things are hard to understand or they are too abstract for them? Like, and also if you can, in the chat also maybe mention like if there's specific areas that are too abstract or hard to understand. Steve asking if we need the poll. Actually, if we can make a poll, that would be great. I don't know if we're gonna make it for this town hall, but definitely for the next one. Let's do a poll about it. Not hard, all clear. Metadata to extract, all good. Let's do a poll. Something's clear, something's abstract, hard to understand, little technical, vocabulary, a bit abstract. It's a lot of content, it's challenging. You need a video, too abstract, gobbledygook. Depends on who we're trying to reach. Good for techies. Lots of people want to poll. Doing the reading is a must. There's a poll up. Okay. Nice. Okay, I see the votes. There's like 22 people are saying not at all, 23, 24, 8 people say, okay, sorry. This is a very, okay, our town hall is hard to understand. So 10 say yes, it's too abstract. 26 yes, 26% says it's not hard to understand. So it's like 70-30. Okay, so 30, okay, but now there's like more and more data coming in. Okay, so to summarize, a large chunk of people find it very hard to understand. I think it's a good problem. I need to think about how to solve it, because obviously what we want is like we want at least like 90%. Okay, like now it's like around 30 or even 40% don't understand it. We want to get to around 90% of people generally understanding what's going on. So we're not there yet. What I would advise us to do is I think we need to open up a kind of a bigger discussion about this and analyze what are things that are not understood. And I would say that what I would advise, maybe one immediate thing. So first of all, we need to analyze the problem. Okay, what exactly are things not understood? And I guess just at the top of my head, I think the first thing we can do to analyze it is like at the end of a town hall, it's like we need to ask people like what you didn't understand. And we start to poll that. And then over time, we'll start to work harder on providing more accessible explanations on things that we see that are repeatedly not understood. So that's the first thing we can start doing. I think another thing is like I am a bit in the weeds because I'm like so into this project, that I think that having other presenters come that are maybe like that are less in the weeds come and explain, and that could be really good. So I'm all for adding more and more presenters. I think another solution is like starting with the things that are pretty straightforward and easy to understand in the town hall, and then like saving like the technical metadata, things that require domain expertise to the end, or not even maybe do it in a separate session, because you don't need to understand what metadata is to participate in Catalyst. Okay, it's not, that's like a bonus. It's, but that's a good, thanks a lot for pointing that out. Let's make it a focal point of how over time we can make these town halls much more comprehensible. Okay, next question by Jeff. Where can I get information about becoming a community advisor? So Jeff, I answered it. There's a community onboarding page, and there's the Telegram channel for advisors you can join. Tommy is asking, that's an easy question. What kind of teams, systems, and processes are needed when we are 200,000 people? So first of all, I think we're going to get there. So I think we're gonna get to 200,000 people. So that's like, it's not like it's not an hypothetical pie in the sky question. It's like we grew from 2,000 to 20,000 in a couple of months. I think this year we're gonna get to 100,000. Then I think that sometime next year we're gonna get to 200,000. The big thing is that humans are complicated, and human collaboration and coordination is probably, one of those huge unsolved problems. Like humanity has been trying to solve it since the dawn of civilization. Like, how do we coordinate? We're ending up with a devastated planet, with war and unneeded conflict and violence, with hard abilities to introduce new innovations to improve people's lives. It's so it's not easy, the answer. There's no, I can't like, I think a lot of it is about getting each one of those states, understanding that growth needs to come at a certain pace that is healthy, and that allows us to properly understand the specific challenges and the unknowns that are coming up with every phase. Okay, so now we're in 20,000 people. We're seeing there's like a whole set of new challenges that we predict. At 50,000, at 100,000, every time we're gonna see new challenges come up, and like the key is to continue to survey and continue to have awareness about what's going on, and keep doing analysis where there are bottlenecks and what needs to be improved. And so that's one. Okay, so one is just like iterative approach, kind of like just being diligent about identifying these bottlenecks and resolving them, and as challenges come up, knowing that we can't predict a lot of things, that like what's going to happen. I think beyond it, I would say there's like a few categories of work that needs to happen as we scale up. Okay, so one is technical. Okay, so can our innovation platform process, the feedback of 200,000 people? Okay, like, do we have enough servers in place? That's like, so, and that goes for in the entire tech stack. Okay, so that's like a whole challenge that our team is now working on, and that's one. The other one is how do we ensure that everybody's voice is heard when there's so many people? Okay, so we need to put mechanisms in place that basically turn every person in this process into its own sensor. Okay, so a person is a sensor, and the data from that sensing device that is you can get aggregated back to the top. Okay, so for example, if you at some point you feel frustrated that the system is not fair, or that you're being mistreated, or that you identify some systemic issues with the way things have been built so far. So we need to have a simple way for us to aggregate that and make good decisions based on this data that we get, to make sure we're representing the will of the community. I think another thing is, I don't know, I think I can do a whole talk about this. I can talk for a day, like about what we need to do, but just out of the top of my head, I would say processes of communication. And what we're seeing in normal society, when we're starting to get to these types of numbers, is deterioration of communication, that people start to converge around things that make you angry and provoking and separating and negativity, and that's how you get attention. And we basically need to train people to listen and to have conversations and to be able to not just run after the next provocative thing, but actually adopt good practices and frameworks of decision-making, collective intelligence, and innovation. Okay, so this is like, I would say probably of all the things, like that's the most important, like actually teaching ourselves over time, like how do we collaborate effectively in such an environment that we can thrive and make an impact, and it's not like some kind of bureaucratic nightmare, right? Like I think if we get that correctly, so then even if let's say like the system is a bit slow or there's some proficiency or some deficiencies, like the humans in the system are going to figure it out and make it work. So that probably would be my focus. Yeah, I think another aspect is actually in the processes themselves. So what we think, for example, with the community advisor process is we're evolving and we're adding more and more processes of quality assurance. So for example, like with 200,000 people, you can have 10,000 people create a fake community advisor account and try to game the system, right? So we need to. So what we're doing, like in our slow, thoughtful way, I mean, it's not really slow. It's actually breakneck speed, but like but like methodically, we're building more and more defense mechanisms. So, for example, this QA process for reviewers, it didn't exist 2 months ago. And that's gonna work on every level from the accountability mechanisms we have about proposers actually using the funds that we're giving to them in a responsible way, to tracking the metrics and make sure there's no cheaters, to how we give feedback and collect feedback from each other. I mean, all of these things. I mean, one thing I can promise you, that we're gonna discover a lot of problems that we didn't anticipate, because we never did something like this with 20,000 people, speak alone 200,000 people. And reality is always more complex. Like, they say theory is like practice, but in practice, it's not. So it's not even an answer, just like a start of an answer. And I'm actually like, I have a lot of questions, and I have some heuristics, like my main heuristic is like we have to put the humans in the system first, and we need to, it's not like we build the perfect system and then everything will be perfect. It's like actually we need to work hard as people to train ourselves over time and learn how we can thrive and how we can collaborate in such a system. So lots of training, and also like understanding the limitations of the pace of growth we can do and still maintain safety and stability. Okay. Burke Floyd is asking, any thoughts on badges, historical record, Gov tokens for participating in each round of funding? Yes. Yeah, actually already in Fund 1, I promised. This is like the only, I mean, I really try to keep everything I promised to happen. And this is the one thing I never got to do, which is like, I promised Fund 1 badges for their participation, and I keep not doing it. Marek, I don't know if you're out there, but let's work on this. Let's start to give some people, like, first in their D-scale profiles, some kind of recognition about in which fund they got onboarded, because it's true. And I think the next stage is maybe introducing some kind of, and that would be in the future, okay, like not right now, but there will be a point where we'll start to give people like special NFTs for participating, and I think over time we will have some kind of, again, I can't really, that's like opening a whole new, going down a different rabbit hole, but we're going to have some kind of a reputation system in place, and I think a lot of this reputation system is going to be based on past contributions and past performances. Okay, so this is why we are now, although early, we're very diligent in archiving everything. So everything that's done, like all the voting and the, and who's participating and the community advisor assessments and who's the engagement, like all these things are tracked and archived. Okay, so we have no idea how. It's not like we don't have any idea, but we're sure that there might be a utility for them. So we are storing them, and we are thinking about it, and it's going to be a powerful thing. And this is also something for all of you in the community that are doing things now, that you will get recognized for what you're doing, and you will get recognized for being early adopters and making that extra effort to use the system in its early stages. Okay. Innovatio Group is asking, will there be requirements to become CAs? I think we have noticed that there are many more than are actually present in Discord, or even actually in assessing. In addition to the fact that these people have the power to decide which project is financed or not, we need CAs trained in the matter with an impartial and objective look. If not, I think it is a waste of money thrown in poorly evaluated proposals. All right, harsh criticism. So, well, there are requirements to become CAs. There's like a whole list of requirements that you have to agree with in order to be even eligible to start assessing. Then there is very specific guidelines and requirements that we defined of what makes a good assessment. And then there are a layer of veteran community advisors who actually look and to check that those who posted their review are adhere to these guidelines. So seems to me that like you're making an assumption that it's kind of like a free for all, but it's not. So I suggest you'll get a bit more educated about how this process is working. Maybe at one point become a CA yourself. Give it a try. We are continuing to. We are not perfect, and like as you know, like even companies like Amazon are still struggling, okay, with how to do reviews correctly. This is they call this a wicked problem, right? This is a wicked problem. This can be solved. It's not really clear. Like there's like very complex trade-offs of how do you make a review system work. And I think we're doing a really good job, but we're still improving. And this is why we have the decision-making challenge that we're providing funding for proposers who come in and suggest better ways for training and onboarding and providing tooling for community advisors. So I suspect from starting from this fund, you will see a lot of initiatives. There are already a lot of initiatives coming from the community, but there will be even more. It's going to be amplified to iterate and improve this process. So I hope that somewhere in the next 6 to 8 months, this, it's gonna even get better. Okay, Tommy is asking, are we supposed to provide feedback in Discord also, not only at this scale? Well, I mean, you're supposed to. Well, I don't know, the word supposed. I mean, we each find our own special place in Catalyst where we provide our, as much, spend our time well to provide value. Okay, so some people, it's like being proposers. Some people is like being an implementer and help proposers implement. Some people, it's being a community advisor. Some people, it's about providing feedback and helping improve the proposals in that way. So, you're not supposed to do anything, but you're supposed to find the thing that CAs, you edited it in live. I would say that the CA, you should mainly direct your feedback in ID scale and using the rationale mostly in the rationale box of the assessments, but also in ID scale in the comment section, just because this is what's like publicly displayed and easy for other people to view. Okay, so it helps with the community assess, for example, if the proposing team is being responsive, and actually listens to feedback or not. Okay, because they can go to that ID scale, the proposal page, and look at the activity there. So, but what's nice about Discord is that it's more conversational. You can have a real-time chat with the team. So if you really want to go into the weeds and have that type of situation, there might be better net value there on Discord. So, choose the right tool for the right kind of task. Victor is asking, what is the current criteria for VCA selection? If you have in previous funds provided valid assessments that made you eligible for a reward, so it doesn't mean you actually had to get the reward, but you were eligible for a reward, then you get the VCA status. Travis is asking, can we increase the number of characters limit for problem and solution and relevant experience? The example statement given in the proposal guide doesn't even fit under the 140 limit. Yeah. Okay, we need to change the example then. I'll make it a bit shorter because I see it's upsetting. But why did we, first of all, why did we put this limit? So, a few reasons. First of all, it's short because we have 330 proposals, right? And like people need to read through them. A reasonable voter needs to actually go and read and parse what's going on and be able to decide based on this information if they are, they're gonna double down and read more, or they're just gonna scroll, continue to scroll. Okay, so so this is a window into your proposal, and if we make it longer, we will have less people doing that process and actually scoring and deciding, and they will just kind of give up or not even review the proposal. So there's like a trade-off. So it's harder for you, the proposer, to make really short and concise descriptions. But the more space we give you, the more kind of mind effort you're taking from the voters to actually be able to make meaningful decisions. So that's the trade-off. Okay, so it's not that easy to decide to make it larger. The other thing is that it's a hurdle. It's hard. It's hard to do it. It requires conciseness, clarity of thought. It requires to be able to say what you want in just a few words and make it understandable. And it can take hours of effort to get it right. And that's on purpose, because because voting and tallying and reviewing proposals, serious business, lots of funding involved. And we want to make sure that the teams that are writing these proposals are actually clear and concise in their ability to articulate their solution and the problem and why they're a good fit. After this list, you have this like additional details field that's not limited, and you can go to town. You can just like write and write more about the problem, write more about the solution, write more about the experience. Go ahead, and you can link. You can add the hyperlinks to your GitHub page and to PDFs where you can, there's no limit. But those opening few paragraphs are they need to serve the voting community. That's their purpose. So and also so far, when we're looking at, it's not our first fund. This is fund, we're also fund 4. We're looking at it and we think people are doing okay. When hundreds of proposals before you manage to do it. We have a small percent of people who are not happy with it, and I understand, but it's working. So I'm not right now. I don't see any strong arguments why we should make it longer so far. But I agree with you that the fact that in our example we exceeded 140 characters is really annoying. I'm making a note to change that. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay, I think we're running out of. Okay, like Francisco. One more, like Francisco Aramburo is saying, is there a website to track the progress of already funded projects and their milestones? So this question is almost like a call to action. Like, let's do that. Let's have a website. We have the reports in Excel sheets, so we have the data. We are tracking and we are reporting, but we don't have a dedicated website. Sounds like an amazing community initiative. If someone wants to pick up that challenge and do something like this, our team will be happy to share the reports as a spreadsheet in a way that can be consumed as a CSV. So thanks for bringing it up, Francisco. I think it's really important that there is a transparency of tracking the progress. Okay, I think that's about it for today. Thanks everybody for attending. Congratulations for us for graduating Fund 4 innovation phase. Next week, Fund 5. I hope you're all excited about that. $2 million fund. Let's continue to be awesome. Let's continue our beautiful trajectory onwards. Take care, everybody.